Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another episode of Theater Talk Right. Shoot, Theater Talk Live, Theater Talk Right.
I like the sound of that. Theater Talk right.
Talk wrong.
We're right.
This is the show where we talk about all the things you love, as long as they are about speakers and theater and related items. But today, we are going to talk about some things that I love and some things that Don loves and some things that Kenny loves, and that is RBH sound, right? So these guys are killing it. And if you don't know who they are, you're going to find out, because I found out and I was absolutely shocked. Hi-Fi Haven is with us, and he's all like, I'm looking forward to this one. He's like, bring it, let's go.
My man.
Because, this company is just right across the mountains over in Utah, right? And we're in Colorado here. Well, in the McCoy Basement Theater, trademarked. All right. Okay. Foundations. Let's lay the foundation. So we got two guests today. We've got Kenny from RBH Sound, and then Digital Don AV, the Don Meister, the Donnie, the Donalicious, super fragilistic guy. I think we'll start with, Don's up. We got another Don. So it's double Dons. Double Don Hensley's up in here. What's up, guys?
Don Hensley.
What does he got to say? RBH in the house, indeed. So Kenny, I'm going to close my yapper, and if you could, please introduce yourself, tell people who you are and why they should care.
Yeah,
exciting, Kenny.
It is. Yeah,
I'm head of sales and customer service at RBH Sound, and I work alongside Shane Rich, who's the technical director, and him and I work hand in hand, and we've helped develop a couple products. In fact, we got a couple new subwoofers that are going to be dropping later this month that I helped co-design. So it's super exciting.
Man, look at you. You're all like, not only sales director, but also speaker designer.
Yeah.
He's an uber audio nerd.
Yeah.
And I see uber emphasize that. He really is.
With the umlauts or whatever those things are called.
Yeah,
right?
with
the dots. If anybody out there knows what those are called, let us know.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I've been here for about really close to 3 years, and I absolutely love my job, and just happy to help people and, get into the world of audio and, share my joy with everybody else.
That's super cool. All right. And also joining us is the Don Dunn. So Don, let everybody know who you are.
Hi, I'm Don. Digital Don AV is my new and upcoming YouTube channel. You might know me from Audioholics. I've worked with Audioholics for many, many years. Gene Delasala is one of my best friends, as is Teo, Matt Pose, and the list goes on with the entire crew. It's a family, and we've got to do some really amazing and exciting things. My day job is I'm a full-time integrator, and that's a big fancy word for I install anything from really world-class home theaters to motorized shades to lighting control, full home automation, distributed audio, landscape audio, and a partridge in a pear tree. Now, we do pretty much everything. We're the old Acme knife from the old Roadrunner cartoon of installation. So I feel like I've been doing it 30 years. I feel like I got some great experience. Of course, experience gives you a little bit of wisdom, but you got to apply that to new technologies and be willing to learn. And I have through Audioholics and through my friends like Giles and, Michael Youthman and Shane Lee's a really good friend of mine. So I've really been very fortunate to be immersed in this business for a long time, win several awards. I'm looking forward to having my channel with my spin on things and working with all my brothers like Giles. And
that's awesome. And I'm really excited for you. So people can find you at Digital Don AV on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right. Everybody out there watching.
Thank you.
if you're
nothing
watching,
on there yet,
not live, pause it. Is it there? Is it there yet? It's there, right?
It's there, but there's like a couple little videos of jobs.
It doesn't matter. They can still subscribe to you. Everybody out there.
Subscribe, and when I hit it, I'm going to
open up another tab.
Hit it hard.
Digital Don AV. Hit the subscribe button. Post on whatever's there. Send them a message, whatever, and say, "Let's go." Create your content. Stop slacking.
I'm grateful.
Right on. Now we're gonna swing this back around. And man, there's this whole upper Marlboro, just below Bowie conversation, and whatever a B-more is, and
What?
And Hi-Fi Haven's all like,
Baltimore.
I'll subscribe.
Sounds like they're both from
Hi-Fi
Maryland.
Haven.
So there's, if anybody else is from close to Upper Marlboro, let us know. We're looking for the Maryland crew. But okay, back to the topic at hand. RBH sound. So I want to talk all about this, but to preface things, I had never, that I can remember, heard an RBH sound speaker until Cedia, and I got to hear what I think is kind of the more entry level equipment. Is that right? And this stuff was good, right? And so I can't wait to hear the big boys, right? So if if the entry level was like that, and it was really nice. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about the company and the products that the company has, because I'm sure there are people out there is like, what is the RBH thing? I don't know. But dude, everybody, they have a double 21 subwoofer, and that thing's crazy, but we'll get to all that. But so tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah. So RBH, believe it or not, we've been around for 48 years, since 1976. It was founded by Roger B. Hassing, which is the RBH in the name.
Gotcha.
And he started doing OEM work with the likes of Macintosh and whatnot, but then he ended up branching off and doing his own thing, building his own speakers, and it just progressed from there. Shane Rich, the technical director, has been with the company for 30 years, and really he is the reason we sound the way we do today, because most of the drivers that we use, they are proprietary to us, and he had a hand in designing them, which is super cool. It makes us a little bit unique to the market. We're not just using off-the-shelf parts.
That is very cool.
Yeah. Another cool thing about us is we are made in America. We have a wood shop next door. And with that being said, we do a lot of custom work, which is, I think a little bit unique to the market as well.
That is kind of cool. And so when you say custom work, does that mean that somebody might say, I want your speaker, but I want it in purple? Or is that, hey, I've got this weird room and I need a speaker that measures like this tall or whatever, and you can, what does it really mean?
All of the above.
Okay.
We can do custom colors at request. Obviously it does, there is a little bit of a, surcharge, if it's not a standard color. We do standard colors as satin white and satin black right now. But another thing about custom is, for example, we got this speaker right here with the beautiful X pattern side panels.
That's really cool.
Which I think they're pretty as heck. And we do usually, gloss up the side panels. But that's another thing you can do, is you can decorate your speaker. One thing to know about these side panels is they're not just cosmetic. They do offer acoustic benefits as well, because they are made out of an acrylic polymer, which has a density very similar to granite. So it helps stiffen up the cabinet and just, improve the performance.
It's similar to what Wilson uses. Kenny, can I interject real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The customization. So as I said before, I'm an integrator, and part of being an integrator is being able to come up with custom solutions for a multitude of projects, whether they're small or large. So we did a project about 3 years ago with RBH on the largest single family home in America. It's 100,000 square foot. It's monstrous. So there was a few things that RBH did. First of all, we did the entire theater, which is a multi-million-dollar theater. RBH designed custom LCRs. They designed custom 21-inch subwoofers. They really custom built the speakers to work in the spaces that we have. The output, and of course, Matt Pose was a big part of that, working with RBH on designing all this. And they came out with these custom solutions. And one that was really cool is in the owner of the home's office. He did a 16-foot wide by 9-foot tall mini large scale LED, full 4K, like $500,000 piece, right?
You're talking my language right now.
Well, dude, I've done a few of them, so I can tell you the ups and downs. But so it was 16-foot wide, and it was all built into this like Louis XIV, just amazing cabinetry, just like you don't even want to touch it. It's so nice. RBH crafted the perfect sound bar, LCR passive sound bar, left, center, right, but 16-foot wide. You might as well have bookshelves, right, or LCR, and they shipped it in 5 pieces to fit 16-foot wide. They made custom subs that go into the cabinetry underneath it. and we used some of their architectural stuff for rears. And it just, most companies don't do that. There's a few that we have access to that most of your listeners might not know, like James or Sonan. I mean, different companies, but to the extent RBH does, they would build you 621s in an enclosure. They will, I mean, whatever you want. So yes, you're thinking custom colors, they can do all that, but I'm thinking crazy options and solutions.
Custom integration.
That's sweet. So I'm going to add to the stage the website, and I just want to flip through some of this stuff, and maybe you guys can comment just a little bit on some of these different lines. But I want people to see what. Oh my God! Unrivaled, freestanding, on wall, in wall. Okay, by series. SF, SI, SW, SV. Let's SS. Visage, impression, amplifiers, outdoor, and clearance. Clearance is my style. Okay, so it looks like they're all S's except for the visage and impression. Now, is it like if we go down the list, is it like the super top end and then lower series, or are they functionality based by the names? How does that work?
It's functionality. So SF stands for signature freestanding. So that's where all you get your towers, your bookshelves, our reference subs that are freestanding. SI is signature integrated. So that's all the in wall, in ceiling, in floor, but that's our signature level. To jump around, Visage is actually our architectural series. So that is more of, in ceiling speakers, in wall speakers that are just, retrofittable, easy to go. SW stands for signature on wall.
Okay, so you get your in walls and on walls.
And on walls. And then S series is just our entry level. I say entry level, but they're really great subwoofers. Everything from a 500 watt subwoofer all the way to a dual 12 that has an 800 watt.
You shouldn't say entry level, most affordable.
It's most affordable. Most affordable. We have two levels of aluminum drivers. One of them that
I like it. There's just two levels of aluminum drivers.
Yeah. But the the reference one is a long throw, high power, really amazing subwoofer driver, and that's not in the S series. The S series is using our I say entry level, but it's only entry level in cost. It has really tight, accurate performance. And Giles, you got to experience the S12 HBS, which is our little micro sealed sub.
Yeah.
And if you want to interject your thoughts and comments on your experience with it.
Oh, it was great. I mean, the little guy was just rocking the block, right? I mean, he was doing his thing. Sounded good. No complaints.
What's retail on that, Kenny? What's retail on that?
Retail is $1,500.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, it's got an 800 watt DSP controlled amp, so you can actually tune it with 40 bands of EQ if you want to go super crazy. But it does come pre-programmed with some RBH house curves just to maximize the performance for ultimate linearity right out of the box. And yeah, it just goes up from there.
All right, so let's just take a quick peek, right? So this is the SF signature freestanding. Look at this dual 12 non-powered. Oh my goodness. And so are these AMTs or ribbons?
They are AMTs.
AMTs. Yep. Gotcha. Air motion transformers, ladies and gentlemen. Don't say ribbon. And then
we can go into the specs of what makes an AMT special over a ribbon.
Okay, gosh. Okay. So we everybody out there, we did a little pre-gaming to talk about some of the things that we wanted to talk about, right? And so one of the things that really kind of speaks to me, and I think we can see that here, is like on this the 61 SFMR or the non-R. So we'll look at this guy. So this is actually a modular system, right? And these are two different pieces. So you could buy this top piece maybe as a stand mount, and then you add this bottom piece on, or buy it all at one time. But these are like two different pieces, right?
Two different pieces. Yeah.
So you could run that as a complete passive tower, or you could run that as a bookshelf with the perfect stand with the powered subwoofer if you had a separate amp for that.
Right on.
That's how versatile that is. So if you could do a normal box sub, you could turn those into the 0.1 frequency, which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, and you see the covers, and modular side, dual side firing, 8-inch subs, 6.5. So I really like that because I think that's very flexible. You know, it's just cool, especially if you want to grow with the system. Super cool. All right, so what's okay? Where the big dogs hiding at? I want to look at the huge monster stuff.
So either it would start at the SV series.
All right, here we go.
That was our previous generation. That, I mean, it's a very limited line. It's just got our basically towers and all the pieces associated with that.
That's what I have.
Yep.
All right, so okay, so at the top you've got like a module with dual 8s or 10s. Dual 12s. Okay. All right.
Yeah, 8 inches are mid range.
Yep, they got triple 8s. One thing that's super cool about that arrangement of 8s, so it's designed that the tweeter is kind of in the middle, you know, on the inside, and the 8s flank it. And what it's designed to do is be more of like a time-aligned point source. So even though it's a humongous tower, it has the effect and imaging characteristics of a smaller bookshelf.
Yeah, it has all the features of the Diapolito.
Yeah.
But minus a few of the shortcomings. I love Diapolito arrays. I always have in speakers. Some people do, some people don't, depending on the design. This is kind of a hybrid. This is a unique design. You just won't see this anyplace else. And I can tell you, it really images. And even with 8-inch mid-ranges, it sounds counterproductive, but I'm telling you, with good power, and they're pretty efficient. These things are light, like a small monitor speaker. It's insane.
That's really cool. Yeah, I was going to say it does look like a kind of odd Diapolito array, and I kind of cut my teeth on higher end speakers with Diapolito arrays. Well, I guess it's not really higher end speakers. This was like billions of years ago, and but I've always been a big fan. So this seems really cool too.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Diapolito is really good for controlling your dispersion. You know, THX speakers back in the day, as you probably have reviewed or owned, from Atlantic Technology to Snell to whatever, always used kind of a expanded version of a Diapolito to really control that, have wide vertical dispersion or wide horizontal dispersion and more narrow vertical dispersion on a theater room helped a little bit.
And then, okay, so just checking out this stuff. Let's see what's on page 2 here, hiding out. What is this? Oh, okay. Hey,
my old babies.
That's kind of cool. What is that? Oh my God, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the products by type and then just go to Unrivaled, it'll have all of the Unrivaled stuff in one spot.
All right, so let's just spec out a system. So you get 2 of the SVTRS AXs, and then you get 2 of the Unrivaled 221s, and that's your 2-channel system.
Yeah, ready to roll.
Why not?
I mean, it's going to give you a traditional audiophile sound, a little fuller, a little richer, but it's going to give you compression, driver, dynamics, or real close to it. It's a different kind of sound. But it's a big, huge sound by using that really large AMT driver. It's about 6 times the area of even a big 1-inch tweeter, like a 1.2 or 1.4. It has massive output.
Right on. So I have to take a pause here. So for folks that are just joining, we've got Kenny and Don, and we're talking about RBH, so amazing speaker company. And then Richard has joined us, and Richard is channel royalty. He's one of my members, so he supports the channel. And whenever he asks a question, I always bring that up, no matter what it's about. So he asks, when are you getting your 115-inch TCL? Well, strange that you ask, because I have a related story, and I'll go ahead and tell the story now. I was going to get to it at some point, but this is a good pause. So I have the 98-inch TCL Q7, right? And it weighs 220 pounds, and we carried it down the stairs today, and I think I ripped a hip flexor off of my body because now I'm hobbling like a old man, not just old man, but an old man. So that's the first thing. As far as when will I get the 115, that's a good question. Don't know. And I don't think that I would attempt to carry it into the basement myself. If it would even get, I think it'll get down there maybe. But I would definitely hire
I'll
somebody.
fly out and help you, man.
Man, I'm not touching. Somebody else is gonna have to bring it in. It'll be ready. I'll have a mount on the wall for it, but somebody else is carrying that thing down the stairs because that's a big boy. But that's it hopefully will be coming. But first, I got to work through this 7 series, and then we'll see where things go from there. All right. So love those driver arrays. I agree. They are super cool. But man, so can we talk a little bit about this thing that I got on the screen right now? Look, just look at that.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
That's a bad boy.
The first one we ever did was that one.
That's pretty.
Yeah, it's a bad boy.
Where's that room at?
That's in Florida. It's at our friend Brian Hager's home. In fact, Dream Media did a video touring his system.
Nice.
So,
Yeah,
check that
Brian
out
will be on my
YouTube.
channel quite a bit. He's mystery though. You can't see his face like he worked for the CIA. He's a installation tech down here. Really, really, really a craftsman in every sense.
Yep. He's brilliant too.
Brilliant, man.
Look at this. I mean, so that's definitely a nice gloss finish, and then you got satin here.
Yeah,
and the pretty feet. I guess that's maybe billet aluminum. I don't know.
Yeah. So they are aluminum feet. They're hefty. They're like 5 pounds each. Hold that. But if you go to that first picture, that's actually kind of the new design. So you see that front baffle.
Yeah, the curve here.
Yep, the curve there, and it kind of like hides the ring on the where the screws are, so it just beautifies the.
So Jaws, I know you've always been into the DIY subs and the bigger.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, RBH wanted to build something that was world class, high output. They also wanted to retain that musicality to it. They're really accurate, tight bass, and so they've done a lot of homework working with companies. That driver that they use is pretty special, and Kenny can explain it a little more in detail.
Yeah. So it does use it's a carbon fiber clone. The reason why we chose carbon fiber because it's a kind of the same principles as aluminum, where it's a lightweight, rigid material, which kind of retains linearity as it's moving. We originally wanted to do aluminum, but the motor force of that driver is so much that it actually inverted the cone. Like it was too much.
It would blow it out. Yeah. Couldn't keep up.
It would blow it out.
It's not rigid enough.
But one of the downfalls of carbon fiber, as you know, is it has a ringing to it, right? And we're really prominent breakup mode, especially of that size, it's going to happen pretty early in the frequency response. So Shane Rich came up with a sandwich carbon fiber technology, which has an aerogel on the inside. So it gets rid of that breakup mode. And then you still have that, lightweight cone material. So it's most people say that big subs usually are slow. They have a lot of output, but they're slow, can't keep up. This subwoofer can keep up with the most demanding musical tasks that you throw at it.
Yeah,
on top of that,
crazy.
Yeah, it's gotten crazy transient response. And cool thing about it, it's got a thermal capability of 4,000 watts of power handling. And so you could throw whatever you want at it.
I love this. So, it's all like, okay, the regular version, you can just, put 2,200 watts on the system or put 4,000.
Yeah.
You know what the answer is? Yes, please. Yes, please. Let's go.
1,000's better, no better.
Yeah.
No, I've heard these subs multiple times, and they really are. There's a lot of companies making really great big either DIY or they'll build them for you, and they're great subs. But this sub is like a JL audio accurate, a rail accurate. Like it is a legit 100% high end as you want to go subwoofer. That's a world beater. I mean, it is that good, dude. I'm a huge fan of the JTR R2J products. This thing right here is right with it. It's exceptional and it's beautiful. And I'm super proud of them for bringing this out. And of course it digs deep. I mean, it's a monster, but it ain't cheap. So, but
well, digging deep. I mean, I was looking at the specs here. And at first I was looking, I was like, oh, okay, whatever, and then I looked at the scale of this, and that's 4 hertz.
Yeah,
Five, 6, 7.
yeah. When it couples, man, in a room, dude, and gets that gain, it's a
Yeah.
monster. But
It is.
again, accurate, man, which is in punchy, like only a sealed sub can be.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a lot of people ask me about, I think it's the SI1212, the dual 12 in wall.
Yeah.
I think this is the one, but there was a lot of interest around those guys. You know, I did a review of the Next Level Acoustics dual 10, maybe it was 12. I can't remember now.
Great product, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, really good product.
Really good stuff.
But you know, a lot of people when they watch the video, they're oh, that's super cool. But the first question would be like, but what about the RBH dual 12 in wall? So, I don't know. I'm sure it's good too, but it's kind of funny that a lot of people are familiar with this, and I assume this is more of a CI kind of product, right?
That one is, yeah.
But
so that one, I mean, it comes in 3 pieces really. So it has the in wall enclosure, then the baffle assembly comes separate. So like for people who are doing like heavy construction on a home and they need to get the cabinet in the wall, but they don't want to damage their speaker, so they'll order them separate, and there's no harm in doing that, and it kind of keeps the drivers protected off the construction site. And
and is there like a 3/4 inch or whatever the drywall thickness is?
No, so it's got a mud ring to line it up, and that baffle will go flush with the wall, and then the grill's a little oversized to cover up all the seams.
So, Giles, let me put this in a little bit of perspective. So we've measured the RBH Dual 12 subs extensively at Audioholics. And what we found is that the RBH Dual 12s with the reference drivers with enough power have output very comparable, if not equal to a single sealed 18. They may not play quite as low, but man, dude, they're really close. And that substantial output in an architectural sub. Hard to find in an architectural sub, really. As an integrator, I know. I mean, you a lot of 8s and 10s and dual, this and that, but these things are a pretty real deal. In fact, Matthew Pose in his reference theater, he built from the ground up, has a pair of those in his theater as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about, because I emboldened myself when I did that drywall patch. I thought, okay, well, I could just rip like a, between some of the studs and put a big ass, box behind the thing, and then patch up the drywall and put some architectural in walls back there just to have them. So I've often thought about that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm brave enough to actually do it or not, though. But I've thought about it. I
mean, I cut in ceiling Atmos speakers into my rental house, but I'm going to put some replacements in when I move. And I believe in the house better than I found it. It's pre-wired for surround sound with speakers.
Nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. So I did do that. I cut my ceiling and put in walls into the ceiling. But there's no patchwork with that. The speaker just covers the hole up. With this thing, you got a big old hole that you need to patch afterwards.
There's a lot of misconceptions about architectural audio, and we are literally light years from 10 years ago on architectural audio, what it's capable of, especially when you had Dirac and Odyssey and Arc and Wipeow and, whatever format, the Trenov that you're using. You'd be pretty impressed and surprised, because a lot of them have sealed cabinets. They're just sealed speakers that are mounted in the wall, not dissimilar from large recording studios.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense. And this kind of stuff, really, it really calls my name. Like I love this kind of
badass
speaker, because I've got towers in my room, and they're great. I love the towers; they're awesome. And then I've got the humongous on walls all the way around. But I've often thought, if I could just get rid of all the boxes altogether, it'd be really nice.
That's my world as an integrator. For every 100 speakers I sell, maybe 5 are box, if that.
Yeah.
That's just the world we live in now.
And the in-wall stuff sounds amazing.
It can. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, of course there can be crappy ones. Absolutely.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get some of the cheaper ones that masquerade as high end, which there's a bunch of them out there that ain't. But when you get into the Kefs, the Paradigms, the Focals, the RBHs, the list goes on. Dolly makes some great architectural audio, monitor audio. I'm gonna leave somebody out, but yes, you can achieve a phenomenal high-end, very, very great sound stage, all the audiophile terms with architectural audio if done correctly and EQ'd correctly.
Right. What about Totem?
Oh, Totem. Well, Lucy, I love you, Lucy. Totem is one of my favorite, Lucy. Yeah, it's one of my, I love Totem. Great speaker company. I mean, people complain. They're like, oh, reviewers never have bad reviews. Look, it's really hard to review a speaker bad. I mean, if you're running it through the Kipple and little nips and tucks and, like if that's how you live and you think the Kipple is the God, that's great. But I'm saying there's a lot of great speakers and they don't get a fair shake, I think, because the problem is, how do you review them? Because you got to cut holes in drywall and so when I get my channel, I'm going to try to have some things built where I can review a lot of architectural audio. Fingers crossed.
I think that's great. I love that. And I've got my room set up where I can do any kind of box speaker really easy, because all my wiring, even for center channel, when it was behind the screen, I had a outlet down at the bottom, and I just passed that through, and I could the lead came to the wall, and then I had a set of jumpers back into another set of RCAs that went inside the wall to the in wall, so I could unplug those and plug in an external center if I wanted. But I think being able to actually test architectural speakers in a
the best you can, because every wall is different.
the best that you can. I think that's great.
Yeah, and they're all gonna point off access like they would straight at you on a wall. But I'm gonna test them in a really acoustically perfect or as close to acoustically correct room as I can, and give them. I want to demo them as a tower or bookshelf pair, almost like I was I'm gonna demo towers and bookshelves obviously too, but to give them that fair shake. So if they sound this good doing that, how are they going to work in your theater or and whatnot? It's the best approximation I think I could do and pull off.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Now, not only does RBH do speakers, but they also do amplifiers.
Killer amps.
Yeah. So can you talk, Kenny, a little bit about those?
Yeah. So we got the 1202, which is our small one. I say small because it's a 1U chassis. But
so that's this guy.
Yeah. So it's actually got, all of our subwoofer amps have 2 channels, so you can run 2 subs off of 1 amp. But the 1202 has 600 watts at 8 ohms and 1,000 watts per channel at 4 ohms.
And all your subs are pretty much 4 ohms, right, Kenny?
Most of them? Some of them. They're an awkward 6.
They're awkward.
Yeah, they're an awkward 6 ohms. So, yeah, but nominal 8 for 1 and nominal 4 for 2 when you're doing dual.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great little amp, really, good potential. And then we got the 2602, which is that's the big boy that we run for all of the reference stuff. We recommend that one, just because those reference stuffs can just take a beating and keep going. But that one puts out 1,300 watts per channel at 8 ohms and 2,200 watts per channel at 4 ohms.
It's a really good solid amp with a ton of power.
It is.
We use it every day.
Is it loud? Does it have a lot of fan noise? Is this something you'd want to put outside? That's I mean, we've resolved that. We actually put in new fans because the ones from factory were just a little bit too noisy. So we put quieter fans in them now.
Oh, Kenny.
So we'll send you a couple, Don.
I mean, if you can actually have this in the room that you're sitting in and not get too much fan noise, that's awesome. Is it class D or class AB?
Class D. Perfect. One cool thing about it is the fans actually respond with input. So as you get a stronger input signal, the fans will ramp up to keep the heat down. If you're watching movies, the fans are not even an issue. You won't notice them because the sound system's gonna be louder than the fans at all times.
That's cool. Yeah, they look cool too. If that makes a difference to anybody, I think. Oh yeah, I think they're pretty nice.
Yeah.
So
and then, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I mean, on there is the 1802, which we discontinued because that was the first amp we brought out. Then we found out that it's better to have a smaller and a bigger one because not very many people bought the one in the middle.
Right, I'm with you. Go big or go small. In the middle doesn't exist. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I want to change the topic a little bit, and I
Sure.
want to talk a little bit more about, we looked at the unrivaled set of speakers, that line,
Mhm.
but I kind of I want to understand what's going on with them. I mean, why are they called unrivaled?
Mhm.
What's why do they get the special name?
All right. Well, if you want to go to in the menu, RBH NU, and then there's a little sub menu of unrivaled, RBH NU, fifth one over,
Oh, okay, there we go.
unrivaled.
Oh, I see. Nice. Lots of stuff.
So, kind of explains what we do different to the cabinets, including, improved damping material. We do anti-resonance lining to the insides of the cabinets to reduce resonances. We internally wire them with Kimber cable.
Mhm.
Those acrylic polymer side panels, offer more acoustic benefits to keep the cabinet more rigid. And then on select sealed systems like the SFTR, we have our new patent pending GADS technology, which is really, really cool. What it is it's a granular particulate that we put inside the speaker, but it's it's got a air filter, so like none of the granular particulates can destroy the speaker on the other side. But what it does two things: it becomes a mass loader to increase the rigidity of the speaker, but also an acoustic dampener to get rid of any cabinet resonances or
Right.
anything like
No,
that.
yeah. I'm with you.
And one cool thing we did when we were testing this is, as we were adding more particulate, the Q of the system was negligibly affected. So the speaker drivers are actually seeing the full volume of the speaker for that tone control and the bass management. But you're also increasing. It's just it's really cool. Lost for words, but it adds to the tightness of the response of the speaker without sacrificing bass extension.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then passive crossovers.
Yep. And so for all of the unrivaled with the PX, the passive crossover, they get upgraded parts with some of the very best components that we can, like neutral components, because we don't really want to take away from the RBH sound, which it's a great sound, but we just want to enhance it. So the reason why I picked the Janssen Superior Z cap, because it's a dead neutral cap, but we do have a Mundorf Supreme Silver Golden Oil on the tweeter as a bypass cap, and that just adds to the air and extension and transient response of the tweeter. It's pretty cool. And beyond that, just a foil inductor for the woofer circuit, just to just have as low of resistance and clean signal as possible to the drivers. And we at the office, we did a blind A/B test between the stock crossover and the unrivaled crossover. Everybody picked the unrivaled crossover. Just the transient response went through the roof, and the clarity was phenomenal. So it's
awesome.
really the next evolution in the RBH sound. And then, of course, if you want to go all out, we got the active crossover system, which
I love it.
It's got full DSP up to 108 dB per octave crossover slopes with
so Kenny,
FIR.
Talk about your Pascal based multi-channel amps.
Yeah, we can do that right now with the active system, because when you do buy an active speaker system, we include the amplifiers. And so the Class D amps are using the Pascal modules, which are really world-class Class D amplifiers. It's really hard to get much better because they're just dead neutral. The damping factor is greater than 1,000, which is pretty crazy. I haven't seen any other amps quite that crazy. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, just the slew rate, just makes for like crazy transients, and it's just dead neutral representation of the audio signal. So whatever you feed it, you're going to get a faithful representation of that.
So Giles, these are actually really high-end stereo or multi-channel amps.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they use the Pascal module, which some of your most high-end manufacturers that make your Uber audiophile, when they do a Class D, use the Pascal module. It's extremely powerful, extremely clean. I mean, I've owned 30 multi-channel amps of every shape and size: Class H, Class AB, Class A. I'm telling you, these amps are world class. And I've got a 6-channel on my main system running my bed layer, and just absolutely floored on how much raw power, but super clean, no strain that these things have. RBH doesn't really talk about them much or promote them, and it's a shame because they take their place among the Trenov amps and the Marantz and some of the bigger.
We're working on it, Don.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
Well,
they're going to be there. They're there. They just need some. They need some people to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Let's get the word out.
One cool thing about our amps is we can configure them anywhere from 2 channels all the way up to 16 channels in one chassis.
Nice.
And anywhere from 140 watts per channel up to 2,000, obviously within reason.
I want 2,000 by 16. Go.
I can't do it. We can do 2,000 by 5. 2,000 by 5 is about the max of that.
So I just need 4 of them.
Yeah, I'm 2,000 by 5. I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, no, we can do that. And then just huge. Like if you had 5 subwoofers that need a ton of power, we got you.
So my main towers on my big system, which is the RBH unrivaled SVTRs, the base module, because it's modular, they have the RBH base amp, and it's 2,400 watts channel because those are 4-ohm dual reference 12 drivers. Then the top module has an amp that's 600 watts a channel. Run into those, and let me tell you, 3,000 watts of tower will, and I have a big room that it's in. It rocks the house. It's a nightclub.
Yep.
So the Madness has joined us, and he is saying that yes, the living room is talking insane. That's
cool. I dig it, man. I love it.
So and just to remind everybody and to remind myself, that's dual 12s on the bottom and then the 888 with
the SVTR is a modular tower system. They make it in a passive version, which I have. Then they make an active version like Gene De La Sala has in his theater or Brian has. And they actually have the additional dual 12-inch module on top to make this massive tower. It has 3 8-inch mid-ranges, which, I was like, man, I don't know, 8-inch mid-range. Because I'm used to 5 1/4, 6 1/2, 3-inch, whatever.
I like 8-inch mid-range if it's paired with the right.
They're so efficient and so fast. I bring people over all the time to do demos, and I set them in a sweet spot, and I play, really high end 2-channel, just 2-channel, just the front towers, audiophile quality music, and people are just like, dude, I've never heard anything better. Like most flagship speakers for companies like Dolly or Focal or whatever, or anywhere from 70,000 to 300-400 Sonos Faber 750,000. These speakers are flagship level, I assure you, and they have just that massive output. In fact, if you got a flagship speaker that's 7 foot tall, I don't care. If you got a 1-inch tweeter, that's going to compress at higher volumes. It's just science. It just is.
Yeah.
So by using either a array of tweeters or a module like Perliston uses, or a compression driver, which a lot of people use, or a big and I mean a big AMT. This thing's like it's giant. It's able to give you that huge sound, but it still sounds musical and small because I do my little tour of Italy and I take them to the studio monitors, and I take people to my little 2-channel with dollies and into my bedroom system. Take them to my bedroom.
Yeah.
It's all Focal Cantus. I mean, this is high-end stuff, all driven with great electronics dialed in. But when I take them to the big RBH, dude, it's just big speakers in a big room. It's just hard to replicate that, And I'm a huge proponent of sizing speakers to the room. If you got a little room and you put these SVTRs in it, they wouldn't sound good. The energy that they produce overpowers
the room,
collapses itself. You got to think about. I'm going to go on a tangent, but speakers produce energy, and if you all these audio shows, a lot of times you'll go in a little hotel room that's 13 by 13 or 12 by 12 or whatever, and they got massive speakers in them. You're not really hearing the speaker as it should be heard. But the guys that have bookshelf or small towers, and Giles, you've been to 1,000 of them. It's the same way. How often than not, at Audio Advice, what was some of the best sound we heard? The little ELACs, remember? How good?
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah. I mean,
those are cool. Those are cool.
The room. But yeah,
but you know what? I'm going to just say I agree with you, but I say bring it. I don't know. You got 10 by 10 room.
Well,
let's just.
Dude, listen.
Come on, let's do this thing.
Excuse me while I whip this out. You may not need big speakers to please a woman, but if
I
you're
turn the volume down. I want a big. All right.
Well,
So everybody that's out there that's watching, if you're just joining, we've got Kenny from RBH Sound and Digital Don AV. Subscribe now, please, to his channel on YouTube. And we're talking all about RBH. We have a few more minutes here. If you have any questions, there are a lot of you guys out there watching. Drop your questions in. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be silly, weird stuff. We're good. We got you covered. Don't be scared.
Kenny knows.
Oh yeah.
Kenny knows. And then the Madness has one more comment. The office and the living room with RBH setups are the best in the house. The Dollies don't compare, to be honest. Sorry, Dolly. I love you, Dolly. But apparently you're lacking in the situation.
Yeah. The monitors. So I have in my office, and I'm listening to you guys on right now, is the 61AX. And that is a two-way, similar to the passive 61s, has the reference AMT, has the reference 6.5-inch mid-bass driver with the what's the
face plug?
Face plug, yeah, but a real face plug that dissipates heat. It's aluminum, and they internally it has Marani DSP processing with FIR filtering, and two Marani amplifiers, which are also based on the Pascal. The woofer gets 200 watts a channel, or 250, excuse me, and the tweeter gets 150. So these things are like the Defiant. If you're a Star Trek fan, it's overpowered, overgunned, overpowered. They're amazing, and I run them with through right now the Focusrite Scarlett through my computer to an RBH reference 12-inch ported sub, and it sounds really good. I have to say,
I can tell you're a fan.
I do. I listen constantly every day. I'm a user, man. Home theater. I love movies, love TV shows, but I love music, and they're just great tools to deliver that to me.
So Kenny, he just called you a tool.
Speakers were the tool.
Thanks,
how do you
all that shit I said about you earlier, I take it back. You really
big Don's tool.
We have our geek talks.
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
so
dude, at night, Kenny's like, check this song out, check this playlist. I'm like, that, and then don't you have friends like that, Giles, where you like text different songs or watch this clip from this movie? The problem with all of us that are in this hobby is finding kindred spirits. And you know how hard it is, like even in an area where you live, to find. Luckily, in here in Tampa, I've got, Michael, and I've got my boy Casey, and I've got Brian. I've got some, just a multitude of friends that have really cool setups, man. And it's fun to be able to, hang out and go do movie night or whatnot. It's great.
Yeah, that's real cool. In Colorado, we have a small group, but there are a few folks out here. So that's cool.
Where in Colorado are you?
I'm in Castle Rock, so I'm just south of Denver, suburb of Denver, on the south side, down 25.
My girlfriend was born and raised in Denver.
Nice, right on.
Yeah.
All the best people are from Denver.
Dude, I tell you what, CD last year, every time I've ever been to Denver, Colorado in general, I've really loved it, really enjoyed it. Never had a bad experience.
Yeah, I'm not from Denver, so maybe I'm not the best people, but at least I moved here. So, Don, in your experience with RBH, if you were going to put together two different systems, so this is just a what if scenario. So kind of, no holes barred, just, 2-channel, super crazy. What would it be? And then if you wanted to put in, like the I don't have any money, I'm super poor, but I'm going to buy RBH and I want the best quality I can get for the money. What would that system look like to both from a 2-channel perspective? And let's start crazy, huge, no holes barred kind of thing first.
Can I even add to that just a little bit?
Absolutely.
Would you mind?
Yeah, totally.
I try to stay in your parameters. So let me just talk about the majority of what I do as an integrator, right? People are building homes, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 100,000, whatever, big homes. Right. People, if they have a flat wall, because you could do it above a fireplace to a point, but really a flat wall if you can. It's a beautiful room. They've got an interior designer. They got motorized shades. They've got LED linear lighting. I mean, they've got designer furniture. They've got vases that cost $10,000, crazy high-end stuff. What we will more often than not do, but they still want good sound. They want killer sound. So I do, and I always caveat this, because as soon as I say sound bar, those two words, connotations come up that people have in their brain. But I would do an RBH, and they make 4 levels of sound bar, from a really thin one to a 5 1/4 to a 6.
Is that on the website somewhere?
Yeah, absolutely. To an 8. Actually, they actually make the SVTR signature in an 8. I would do the depending on size of the TV, an LCR soundbar, because that still brings. And most people now are doing bigger TVs, 75, 85, 98, 115 soon to be. You still get plenty of separation. The way they're crossed over, the way they're configured, you still get a good stereo separation for 2-channel, but it blends into with the TV into the room. So when you walk in with the grill on it, it looks like it's part of the TV, Giles. And that's cool. What people want, but they're still getting that. Everything's about compromise, a high fidelity, high quality system. Now, would I do in walls? Absolutely. But most people have like rocks on the wall, or some kind of signature decorative, or a faux finish paint, or art or cabinetry or paintings. So the sound bar only occupies the space that the monitor does. Then I would do architectural. If I could do in walls, I will, but really on great rooms, bigger rooms, it's in ceiling. 4 for the Atmos, 2 for a 5.2.2, or a, if you want to do a 7, depends on the room. It really, but you've got that flexibility with RBH has angled speakers, non-angled, affordable price tag, all the way up to really high output. With the 8-inch driver, with the AMT tweeter in it. And then they've got subwoofers galore. We could do in ceiling, we could do in floor, we could do in wall subwoofers around the cabinet, or all you see is a grill coming at it. So really, we're talking about a legitimate, high performance, high style audio system that's gonna preserve the look of your room, but truly, you have to listen to it. And I wish I could take everybody and had a place to bring them to hear it. You'd be shocked how good. Is it going to sound as good as a set of $20,000 towers? No. I mean, let's just be real. But it's damn close. And for what most people use their systems for, if you're not a big 2-channel aficionado for movies and TV shows, it's perfect. Or even Atmos music. You'd be shocked at the sound you get. Or I could do on walls around a TV or around a projection screen. So that represents the bulk of what we do as integrators with the RBH brand in general, which is really, really cool. That's their, is that the 6? Yeah, 6.5. That's the one they built me in a 16-foot wide version. It came in 5 pieces. For most of my bigger theaters, it really depends on the size and the scale of the theater. But like the theater I was telling you about in the biggest house in America, and that one RBH built me custom. So they took 6 of the 8-inch drivers on each LCR, 3 of those massive AMT tweeters, and built. Matthew Pose worked with them to design a big what's the word I'm looking for? Waveguide. Yeah, but really crazy. I mean, they weren't much to look at, but they were designed to go behind a screen. They would play like 134, 135 dBs continuous.
What?
Like, nuts.
Yeah,
Well, this room is 13,000 cubic feet. It's sat 26 people with a mezzanine, like a balcony.
Right.
The projector's built in with enforced induction cooling. It's got the Sony 380, the 10,000 ANSI lumen Sony, the big one. We've got enforced cooling that goes to it. We had one rack, 42 space, a little over 7 foot tall, full of RBH Class D amps with 220 power, because RBH has a unique ability. You can plug 220 right into their amps
and get more out of it.
Power supply.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But that's on the extreme 221s, but they did ported 21s. Literally, you could bury a big dwarf in these cabinets. They were so big. They both of these 21s went underneath the platform seating. It was 3 levels tall. It was so deep, we were able to put 221s in that. Then there was a stage where they can have plays and mini Broadway shows, and they have a piano they bring out, because we do a 220-inch motorized screen, acoustically transparent, by the way, that dropped right in front of it. Then it went away. Under there, we put 4 of the dual RBH reference 12s, but in a much bigger ported cabinet than normal. So that's all the bass they needed. They didn't need the 21s. The 21s were just a good.
Why not?
Those are the McCoy specials is what those are.
The McCoy specials. I love it. The
I almost
McCoy
called you
specials.
Jim McCoy. Jim, God damn it, Jim.
Jim, I'm a acoustician, not a doctor.
Spanish, it's a Spanish Inquisition.
No, you can go to the website.
But that's what's cool about RBH is they can build you. Or if you wanted a purple speaker, like
go to environments.
Fix. Yeah, they could do it as long as you
All
got
right.
the credit card room.
And go down all the way to the bottom. And we got customization and other. Go ahead and click on that. This is, since we're running low on time, this is kind of the last thing I want to hit.
There's my speakers.
Every customer is different, right? Yep, those are your speakers, Don. But yeah, so we do lots of different customizations, whether it's paint, color, side panels, front baffles, anything to beautify the speaker. We got different side panel designs to choose from, but down at the very bottom of the page.
Hey, go back up real quick, Kenny. Sorry. Go back. So Giles, check this out. So RBH makes that speaker flat. They'll make a waveguide for the whole front panel that magnetically attaches to it. So you could change the color, you could change it. How cool is that? Nobody does that.
That is pretty cool. That's real cool.
Yeah.
That's real cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at this. That's gorgeous. Oh,
We are working with it. Yeah. So
yeah, those are the big monitors right there. they ugly.
160 pounds of joy.
Oh my God. That's cool. And then real quick, if somebody wanted to jump in on the less expensive side of the house, that would be the impression.
Series. Yep.
Yeah, these guys. All right. Oh, we got pricing here. Look at this. $350. Yeah. Let's go.
You can buy the impression directly from RBH.
Yep. That's the only line we offer to the public. You can do your range of on walls and freestanding.
Yeah, look at that. 7.1, 3,200, $10. Let's do this thing.
If you're going to buy like a clip system or,
do this instead. System, yeah.
Well, I mean, at least give it a shot. And, those are great brands and great speakers. We've both heard them, but this is these are the closest to true audiophile type speakers. I mean, they're really good.
Oh, look at that.
You can customize your package.
Oh, let's do it. Oh, let's go all in.
Go for it.
I like it. All right. Okay. We are at the end of the show. Hi-Fi Haven says, Giles, we need Kenny and Don back. Well, we can make that happen.
We'll do it.
There's no question. We'll make it happen. Don has offered to come on and help co-host the show from time to time and bring his expertise and gift a gab to help me struggle through this thing, and I'm very appreciative of that. So whenever Don is bored,
do we want to talk about what you got coming, or is that a surprise?
What do I have coming? Oh, there's I don't do you is there anything? Oh, well, let's let Kenny talk about it then. There's no need to keep things secret. It's not here yet, but it's coming. So
what I get myself into?
What Don's put you on the spot here, so. What's the plan?
No, what are you sending him to demo?
Oh.
Come on, Kenny.
He's like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what.
I got it now. So, yeah, hopefully Giles likes them enough to do a review, but Giles will be getting the SFTRs with the powered submodules in the base and a matching center to try them out with home theater and see what he thinks.
Those are the little, 52 inches tall.
The little brothers to the big towers.
200 pound. Yeah. So Giles, what you're going to notice about those, they're a Diapolito. They use the 8-inch mid ranges in a Diapolito with the big ribbon tweeter. With the big ribbon tweeter. I think it's dual 12s in the bottom, Kenny, or
dual 12s with the reference drivers in sealed enclosure.
Legitimate.
Again, talking my channel, my language.
Legitimate bass. And you're going to send him an amp to run those?
No, they'll be on board.
Okay. Oh, built in. That version. Dude, you're going to very light, very musical. Let him break in a little. You know the drill on that. Just tremendous output, but it's a scary output. And when I say about scary output is they do measure really well. They're a relatively flat speaker. that output, you'll have to look at your meter. At your 101 dBs, you don't feel like you're 101 dBs. Does that make sense? Like
it does make sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's sound and then there's sound. Right?
Some speakers at 100, and you're like, turn that down. Wow, but these things aren't like that, man. They're just effortless when they come in your room. And I know you've had some big medley speakers in there. I've seen them.
And, yeah. There will be more to come too. But yeah. I'm really excited for these because I've become a little I don't know
spoiled.
Deep. Well, no, not that. Just in the RBH sound brand, very inquisitive, right? And I feel like it's something that I've missed out on. So I really want to fix that, and then. And then the Colorado crowd, for the folks that are around here, let me know if you want to come and check them out too. I'm always happy to help demo. I'll actually have the theater working again here pretty soon. It's been down forever. But I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm really excited for these speakers. They are right. If people can have like a speaker aesthetic, okay, this is what I like in a speaker. This kind of checks a lot of the boxes for me.
You like like rectangular, real kind of industrial, almost like.
Yeah, I like the design. Yeah, I like the technology. So I'm very excited to check those out and report back to the world, how they are. And we'll definitely have a show. Another one at that point and talk about that and talk through it and the experience and all that stuff along with the other content too, but we'll definitely do that. So Kenny, hopefully we can, pencil you in for that show coming up.
Kenny, you should shoot out there. You're in Salt Lake. You're what, 4 hours, 5 hours?
Yeah. Maybe. More than welcome to come by.
A little run by. Yeah, it's really
kind of cool.
Yeah.
An hour flight.
Yeah.
We'll pick you up from the airport.
Absolutely. I can. Yeah. I just let my my hip heal.
Yeah, of course.
I don't hear it.
I don't know what's going to. I don't know if I'm going into the office tomorrow or not. It's just this thing's bad. Yeah, man. I don't. Maybe I ripped it in half. Who knows? I don't know. I might have an update on Instagram live from the hospital. This is what happens when you move 98-inch televisions. Danger. All right, we are 3 minutes past time. So I have to put this up. Donnie is audio Gandalf.
You cannot pass.
That's right. These speakers cannot leave. They cannot
audio
pass.
Gandalf. Thanks.
Audio Gandalf. Is that good or bad? Is it Gandalf the Gray or Gandalf the White? Which one is it?
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. It's great. Thank you.
Yeah. Call me. I
like to think audio video Viking more. I'll have to put up my medieval fighting video next time.
Either that or audio video. Well, never mind. I can't say that on the channel. There is a television character who participated in shady activities that had a goatee and was bald.
I don't want to hear about that, dude. Because my meth is not made in my mobile home. My meth is made in my basement. And I'm in Florida, so you figure that out.
There you go. All right. So everybody that's watching, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. We all know your time is precious, so spending it with us is a treasure and a gift. So thank you so much. Really and then Kenny and Don, you guys, your time is precious too. I really appreciate you taking an hour out of your evening late at night to come on the show and chat with me and all the people watching about your experiences and about the brand. And the things that they can experience too, if they want to jump into the RBH sound ecosystem. If people do want to do that, I'll have some links down below. I can put them in touch with the right people so that they can figure out what that journey looks like for them. So good times. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Honored.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. See you guys in the next one. Oh, like, subscribe at Digital Don AV and Giles McCoy.
Giles McCoy.